A warm welcome to Business Daily right here on Trust TV. I am Yusuf Akogu. A whole lot happening in the world of business. And of course, Naira has fallen down to 760 to US dollar. That is a major concern. Of course, the demand is so high now because according to the report, it's in Daily Trust of today. You can pick it up and read the details. Politicians, especially members of the National Assembly that are seeking for various positions, are scampering for dollars, of course, to navigate their way through. And that has impacted negatively on the value of the major currency, the Naira. And of course, as well, the Nigeria Stock Exchange Group is also worried that only 0.3% of Nigerian-owned funds is what we have in the capital market. That is very, very, very small. And of course, we need to have more investment there from Nigerians, especially on the capital market. Welcome to Business Daily. Again, we give you now our top stories. Take a look. Glad to have you back. A lot of developments there in the world of business. Quickly, we move to the stock markets to look at how the market fared yesterday, Thursday. Of course, today is Friday. If you look at it, the market closed negative yesterday. The all-share index closing there downward 0.92%. And of course, the market capitalization lost over 203 billion yesterday to close there on Thursday at 28.4 trillion naira. And of course, if you look at the volume of trade that exchange has among investors on the floor of the market yesterday, it came down to 334.237 million volume of shares. And of course, in terms of value, over 2 billion was actually lost from the value yesterday to come down to 5.148 billion naira. And of course, the deals also down there, 5,350 deals, of course, actually exchanged hands among investors yesterday. If you look at these numbers, this is like a downward performance, of course, from what we had the previous day. Over 51% decline in terms of transaction, 35% in terms of value, and of course 20% decline in terms of deals. Quickly, we look at the gainers for Monday. We have ABC Transport, of course, gaining only 44 kobo there to close at 10% from what we have on Thursday rather. And of course, MRS, an oil and gas company, also gaining 40 kobo there to close in the positive territory, 9.97%. And of course, the Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank also gaining 1 naira 75 kobo to close positive there, 9.37%. Of course, what we saw on the floor of the market yesterday was probably a low trade that actually happened yesterday. We'll go to the losers, the bottom losers for it. We have Academy Press, also a printing press company, losing 1 naira 53 kobo there to close negative there, 10%. That's a huge number on the activity chart there. Of course, Andover, an oil and gas company, also closing downward there, losing a huge number there, 22 naira 35 kobo to close in the negative territory, 9.88%. And of course, if you go to McNichols, it's a sugar manufacturing company, closing down there, 68 kobo to close negative there at 9.33%. That is a huge number. Quickly, we look at the top trade for the day. We have the banking sector actually dominating the whole of the activity chart. We have the Access Bank, Guaranty Trust Bank, Zenith Bank, and of course, all of them there doing 64.7 million volume of shares, 51.1 million volume of shares, and of course 29.1 million volume of shares respectively, all between Access Bank, Guaranty Trust Bank, and of course Zenith Bank. These are all Taiwan Bank there. Of course, the loss that we are recording in the market yesterday is as a result of profit taking from some of these banks. So not necessarily that all the volume of shares traded here went in the positive territory. Quickly, we look at the African market. Of course, we go down to TUSE in Tunisia. Tunisia Stock Exchange there, closing positive there, 0.26% in a positive territory. Of course, we have some very, very big capitalization stock there, the like of SFBT, BIAT, all big capitalization stocks quoted there on the Tunisia Stock Exchange. And of course, NMC, Namibian Stock Exchange, also closing in the negative territory. There was profit taking in the likes of Anglo America, and of course, B2 Gold Corporation, and of course, the like of ANIREP as well. So all affecting the market there to close in the negative territory, 0.09%. And of course, we go to MSE in Mauritius. Mauritius is one of the most attractive economy in Africa. The market closed there at 1,981.90 basis points to close positive there at 0.016%. And of course, the like of ABC Motor Company Limited, ABC Basin Corporation, and of course, Africa Clean Energy Solution Limited, all dominating the activity chart for the day. These were some of the big capitalization stock quoted on Mauritius Stock Exchange. So that is our market watch for today, the Friday. We will keep monitoring the market transactions to look at how the market will, of course, fare in the course of today. We'll keep monitoring the activities from the Nigeria to the rest of Africa and see how the whole thing will pan out today. So we're going to take a very short break. When we return, we're going to go into our discussion. Of course, again, agricultural sector is also in focus today. A whole lot of investment has gone into this area, but has the desired result really been achieved? When we come back, my guests will join me on the show. Don't go away.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Glad to have you back. It's still Business Daily right here on Trust Television. And of course, before we went on that break, I told you that we'll be looking at agricultural sector again today. Quite a whole lot has gone into that sector in terms of investment in from the federal government using various government platforms. But how has this impacted positively on the livelihood of farmers and, of course, Nigerians as Nigerians as a whole? So we look at it today, and I have joining me right in the studio Dr. Bello Abubakar. He's the National President, Maize Association of Nigeria, MAAN. Good morning, Dr. Bello. It's good to have you on Business Daily.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, like the teaser that we gave, so much has gone into this sector. You are one of the key stakeholder in that sector. How beneficial has this been to the sector that you represent?
Well, as a president of the Maize Association of Nigeria, I know that we are part and parcel of the beneficiaries for the government intervention, especially the program of the Anko Borowa program, the presidential fertilizer initiatives, and so on. First, let me start with the issue of the Anko Borowa program, which was established in 2015 by the President Muhammadu Buhari in Kebbi State. Actually, the program was designed in order to provide food security in the country, to provide job opportunities, to also to increase the economy of the country. So the farmers, actually not only the maize farmers, the farmers in Nigeria has benefited and enjoyed this program in so many ways, especially in terms of their production, their market, and also the experience they have got from the program. Because before the Anko Borowa program, the farmers' production in maize sector, it was only 1.8 tons. But when Anko Borowa started, because of some innovations and other technical issues and the technology that was in the system, our farmers was able to produce a minimum of 4 to 5 tons per ton, which if you look at it, there is a large increase in terms of production. Why? Because the input was provided to the farmers through the input suppliers, and the inputs before being supplied, especially the seed, which is the major component for maize production, has to be verified and authenticated by the National Seed Council of Nigeria. So good quality seed will be provided to them. Also, as how I've said, there is some other technologies by the extension services, because our farmers, you know, before they are just going to the farm using their own all the technologies that they inherited or we inherited from our grandfathers. But with this program, there is a provision of the extension services, which the extension workers will now provide the training to the farmers on when to start the farming, harvest, what to do, and at the right time to do it. Also, there is a provision of good mechanization process. The mechanization is one of the major critical challenge in our farming in Nigeria, because you can see that in some other countries, you are hearing that they are getting 8 tons, 12 tons per hectare. Why? Because they have a full mechanization in their farming activities. So, because there is a brief provision of this mechanization process in the system, that is why our farmers were able to get it right. So that is one of the major important issues that make them to get their increase, to get their produce increased in their production.
Doctor, just before you continue, you did start from the Anko Borowa's program, of course, that was launched in 2015 by the outgoing government, and so much money was actually disbursed to farmers across the country. I'm sure your own members also benefited from that, but according to the government, that money is a loan and not like a grant. Has your members been able to pay it back? Because the report we got from IMF a few days ago is that only 24% of that loan has been paid back. That about 76% is still hanging. Are your members that benefited from that loan been able to pay back so far?
Yes, of course, our farmers benefited, and it is a loan, and it is something that is ongoing process. The issue of the IMF or their report that only 26 or 24 was paid, that one actually it was not correct, because even the CBN, they have denied it, and they have now came out with the right figure, which is about 57%. So actually, in anywhere in the world, if a farmer is given a loan and he is able to pay 50%, I think he has tried. And as at now, the farmers are still paying the loan. Because let me tell you, even from my own organization, as last week, we paid over 1 billion naira to Unity Bank as a loan recovery. So it is something that is ongoing. The most important thing, if the program can be sustainable to continue, so that the farmers can be able to continue with their farming activities, because the loan tenure is only for 6 months to 9 months, which is quite different from other countries. The loan is supposed to be a minimum of 3 years, so that it can be a revolving. So that farmer can be revolving the loan, so that they will be paying
Doctor,
each and every
Doctor,
season.
hold your thought there. Let's go on this short break. When we come back, the discussion continue. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. It's still Business Daily right here on Trust TV. So, Doctor, as we were saying before we went on a short break, can you continue along your thoughts?
Okay. So I'm talking about the tenure of the loan, which I said is supposed to be a minimum of 3 years. If you look at the other developed countries in terms of agriculture, their tenure of the loan to the farmers is a minimum of 5 years. And also, the rate of the interest is very, very minimal. In some other countries, they have a free interest of a loan given to the farmers. So with this one, now farmers are still paying their loan, as how I have said earlier. So it is something that is ongoing. So farmers benefited and they are still paying. Though it is not something that you say 100%. But if you can get 50% to 70%, I think you have. You have
Absolutely. We also
Yes.
understand that the farmers were actually affected by the flood, the drought, and of course the insecurity that's happened in Nigeria. Yes.
Yes, that's why I'm going, because the one of the challenges that affected our farmers in terms of this loan repayment, some of them, you know, there is a challenge of flood, drought, insecurity, and so on. So this one also affected them, because some of the farmers, like what happened last year, the flood that embedded all their farms, so they cannot get even 1% of what they have planted. So at the end, we are expecting something that will come as an assistance or intervention so that farmers can get relief. But as at now, we are still waiting from the government, because they have promised that they will assist the farmers. And also the issue of the insurance that will also help to reduce the damage of what happened. Also, that one is not all that enough for the farmer to pay what he has lost. So you see, there are so many challenges that affected their production, so that it now affect the issue of the loan repayment. While some other farmers, I know we had a very serious challenge, because from the beginning, some of the farmers, their expectation is that this loan is a free or is a national cake.
Yes.
Because of the politics, some of them are even saying that it's a Baba Buhari's Bonamba. That's what happened.
Absolutely.
So that's why we are still fighting and battling with so many farmers, because we know that it is a loan, and we said that anybody collected this loan must pay. This is what we have, what we are emphasizing, and what we are telling our people. In fact, most of them, we are in the court with them now, because they have already signed an undertaking, while some of them are even with the other security. Because if you know that you don't have any genuine case for you to pay back your loan, so we have to take a very serious and a major actions for you to pay in one way or the other. So that's what is happening. So,
but doctor, another the reason again why the anchor borrower was also created was to ensure that there is sufficient food sufficiency for Nigeria. But if you look at between that time and now, the cost of food items seems to have gone up compared to what we have. Don't you think that this investment ought to have at least pushed down the cost of food items in the market, especially?
Okay, very good. If you go back to the time that Anko Barua was established from 2015 to 2020 to 2021, everybody in this country is a living witness that there was a sufficient food production, and we have enough food production, and we didn't face any food crisis, especially the critical time that we entered. If you can remember, or if you may recall, during when our President Buhari closed the border, he said we must produce what we eat.
Exactly.
Eat what we produce. The border was closed, and that time, 2019, 1920, there is no any food importation into this country, and we still have enough food, and the price of the food is still very low. There is this inflation now of the price is not like during this time now. So, and also we didn't come out from the border closure. Then the issue of the COVID-19 just came in, where there was a total lockdown globally. So that one also, despite from that COVID-19 and lockdown, there is no any movement of any food items from one country to another. We still have enough food. Why? Because we have produced enough, and this program has contributed. I can say 100% because farmers are getting input, are getting the finance, are getting the services, they are producing. Because our small scale,
Doctor, that is a testament that we can actually feed ourselves. Absolutely. Just before we go,
I am trying to go on what you have said about the price of the food.
Absolutely.
So if you look at that, from that time to 2021, the price of the food commodities is still at the normal rate. But from 2022 to date, really the price of the food has gone up. Why? Locally, within our country, this program, like 2 years ago, like it was suspended, or there is no, the CBN now didn't continue to.
Doctor, quite a whole lot to talk about, but because of time, I'll have one more question.
Other countries.
Yes.
Yeah? It's not only Nigeria. That's what I want to point
absolutely.
out.
It's a global challenge.
It's a global challenge. If you go outside the country, so many countries, what you are buying for $5, you'll buy it for $10. What you are buying for $1, you'll buy it for $5. So it's not only in Nigeria. It is something globally.
Absolutely.
So,
Doctor, just in 15 seconds, because we're already out of time now. The new government will take office in about 10 days from now. Do you want them to continue along this line of investment?
Actually, this is our prayer, and this is what we have already presented to our incoming president even before he started the campaign. And he promised us that he will do whatever he can to continue providing enabling environment to our farmers to continue their farming activities. For now, we are still appealing. Either it is not only Ankobro program he can
Doctor, I must hold you there. I think we need to have a part 2 of this discussion. We are already out of time. Okay. I must thank you, Dr. Abubakar Bello. He has a title, the Jagaban of Azara. I hope I pronounced that well. He's the National President, Maize Association of Nigeria. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily.
Thank you very much.
So with that, we wrap the show for today. Join us on Monday for more. I am Yusuf Akogu. Bye for now.